Was, yes, to actually get to see each other. The miracle that is technology, the miracle that is technology. How grateful I am for it. Because I got to tell you, I've been missing everybody. This has been So I picked this talk title a while ago, and as I was preparing for it, I was thinking, I'm feeling about as far away from miracle being as you could possibly imagine right now. And I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in that, because I spend a lot of time connecting with all of you, and I know that we're all in the midst of what we're in the midst of. And that for some of us, it's a personal upheaval of what just is going on, life is happening. And then the added addition of that, at least for me, of what's going on just in the world right now, has been quite honestly sort of creating some wear and tear in my heart, in my awareness. And my lifeline through all of this has been my spiritual practice. It's been my capacity to show up in meditation, and I just want to I'm so grateful for the spiritual fellowship, for the people who join me in that practice, because if it wasn't for all of you, I don't know if I would show up as consistently just for myself. And this is an example of how we get to support each other. But it's been feeling a little foggy for me. It's funny because San Francisco and Oakland have been so sunny lately, but in my awareness, it's just been a little foggy. And so there's this song that, to me, really speaks to how we are continually being invited to move away from the fear and the sense of victim, the sense that something's happening to us, and move into and remember the very truth of who we are, to be able to see anew. So I'm going to turn this over for the moment to Katie Birchie and Carl Pantle. And as they sing this song, my invitation to you is that as they're singing it, that you allow yourself to think that you are singing this song to you, that this is your highest self, that you are actually able to touch and see and allow. Here is Katie Birchie and Carl Pantle. I see the light.
All those days watching from the windows, all those years outside looking in, all that time never really knowing just how blind I've been. Now I'm here blinking in the starlight. Now I'm here, suddenly I see. Standing here, it's all so clear. I'm where I'm meant to be. And at last I see the light. And it's like the fog has lifted. And at last I see the light. And it's like the sky is new. And it's warm and real and bright. And the world has somehow shifted. All at once, everything looks different now that I see you.
All those days chasing down a daydream, all those years living in a blur, all that time never truly seeing things the way they were. Now you're here you're here, suddenly I know. If you're here, it's crystal clear. I'm where I'm meant to go. And at last I see the light. And it's like the fog has lifted. And at last I see the light.
And it's like the sky is new.
And it's warm and real and bright. And the world has somehow shifted.
All at once, everything is different.
Now that I see you. Now that I see you.
All at once, everything has shifted. How often do we look outside of ourselves for that shift? How often are we waiting for the world out there to shift so that we can shift? So, miracle being is an invitation to be the shift yourself, to anchor these principles that are alive and palpable, and yes, you can see them. Are you looking for them? Miracles are everywhere, truly everywhere. Are you willing to actually see them? Or are you so lost in the fog of what is arising in time and in space, on the news, right here? Are you so lost in that you can't actually touch what's truly real? The one life, the one power, the one breath. And this is our calling. This is what we're here to be and do. We are here to know love, to be love, to anchor love, to show up as love. And when we do that, the awareness of God, of love, of grace, of joy, of beauty is so large that it transcends whatever may be arising in time and in space. And that is the definition of a miracle. This idea that spiritual principle can transcend our limiting understanding of what is possible. And really just sit with that for a minute. Because we narrow our focus. We are so small in what we understand is truth. And in that smallness, we sell ourselves and the world so short. So a larger understanding making itself known can show up in time and space as a remission from cancer. It can show up as health and vitality where there wasn't health and vitality before. It can show up as a sudden windfall of financial abundance where it wasn't there a moment before. But the thing is, the principle of abundance was always there. The principle of health and vitality was always there. Are we willing to really see it? What we know in this teaching is what we place our attention on grows in consciousness. So what are you placing your attention on? It's all too easy right now to place our attention on the Stormendrung that is the world we live in right now. And the call is to place our attention on God, to place our attention on love, to place our attention on beauty and harmony. In the Christian scriptures, the scripture would be, what is impossible with man is possible with God. And what we know and believe in unity is that this isn't an anthropomorphized understanding of God. This is us. This is love as my life, love as your life, beauty as your life. This is the living expression of your true nature, the divinity that you are. And that is the invitation always. So in the midst of this fog, in the midst of the intensity of what is happening out there in the world, all the social injustice that we can see and be impacted by, the violence, the fear, it's happening to me somehow. We're being invited to limit our understanding less. We're being invited to free ourselves from our small understanding, to understand that we are the miracle. We are it, not waiting for it to happen out there somewhere, but that it is our very life. So I want to share a story with you. I've shared some of this before, that when I was 25, I broke my back and was in chronic and intense pain. I was told that I would always be in pain. I was told that I would never be free of the pain. And I was told that I would never be able to really move freely or dance. And as I sat in the doctor's office listening to this person speak with all of their authority, and we all know how doctors carry their authority, right? Wouldn't it be great if we could all carry our spiritual authority the way doctors carry their medical authority? He sat there with all of that authority and told me I would never be pain-free again. And in that moment, what I can now identify was my divine self roared into life, just came roaring forth and saying, oh no, oh no, 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 no. That is just not the truth of my life. And he was fighting me on it. And I had to stand in my authority. I had to stand in the understanding that rather than praying for a miracle, because that's what all I could hear, he got in my head, he got in my heart, right? It will take a miracle for you to be able to walk. It'll take a miracle for you to be pain-free. And something inside of me just went, but I am the miracle. I am the miracle right now. I don't have to wait for some future event to happen. I am the miracle. Within me is everything that I need. And what's so amazing about this experience for me is that this was before I even found New Thought. This was my innate divinity just saying, you need to lean into who you truly are, not what is showing up as you right now. And it was 5 years of constant pain. And through it all, I just kept saying to myself, I am the miracle. I am the miracle. And I am the miracle, and so are you. There is nothing outside of yourself that you need to ask for, and yet there are so many things that block us. There are so many things that keep us from understanding and owning and standing in our miraculousness. There's all the regrets. There's all the resentments. There's all the mistakes, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, oughtas. For so long, I stood with myself at the top of that hill in Golden Gate Park on my roller skates, making that decision over and over and over again to ride down that crazy hill. Over and over again, I stood there and said, why? Why did you do that? How could you have done that? If only you hadn't done that. If all that shoulda, coulda, woulda. I had to step into a place where I could truly own my wholeness, the grace that is my life, the beauty that is my life, the miracle that is my life. And as I stood in that, I was able to begin to free myself. But the way that I had to stand in forgiveness for myself, the way I had to stand in forgiveness for that doctor, The way I had to stand into forgiveness for all of the story that I had around that experience and being a victim of something, a victim of my own poor judgment, a victim of the medical profession's limited perspective, all that victimness, I had to let it go. I was invited into something else. So Sharon Salzberg, who one of my meditation practices is Vipassana, and Sharon Salzberg is one of the main teachers in that meditation world. And she has this beautiful quote: "When we are held prisoner by our own past actions or the actions of others, our present life cannot be fully lived." I'm going to say that again because it's huge, right? When we are held prisoner by our own past action or the actions of others, our present life cannot be fully lived. We become anchored to the past. We are tethered to something that actually doesn't exist anymore except in our consciousness. Me standing at the top of that hill again and again and again was me imprisoning myself and not allowing myself to stand in present moment awareness. Because when I did stand in present moment awareness, the pain would diminish, wouldn't go away all the way. Eventually it did, but it was a process of unhooking myself from a story where I was a victim. So where are you still hooked into being a victim? Where are you still holding on to your resentments that somebody did something to you? The idea that you did something to somebody else and that they are the victim. Because that's the flip side of it all, right? In my embodied principle class, we've been looking at victim and manifestor, manipulator, and how they just, right? Victim, persecutor, we just keep flipping back and forth between them. What if we could actually stand in the awareness that all my choices serve my greatest, highest good? Even that choice to stand at that top of the hill in Golden Gate Park and roller skate down that crazy steep hill, all of my choices serve my greatest and highest good. And you know what? I can stand here now and honestly say that because that choice led to my spiritual awakening. That choice led to me understanding something about myself and the world, and that I am the miracle. What would your life be like if you truly believed that all of your choices, not some of them, not most of them, but all of them were in service to your greatest and highest good? So the invitation here is to step into forgiveness, to step into the capacity to release, to let go, to allow ourselves to be free from those ties that bind us, from that place, that space in our understanding where we think that we were a victim, that we think that there's something that we need to be afraid of. What if you actually knew that you, the truth of who you are, can never be hurt, harmed, or endangered? The truth of who you are is the living light. The truth of who you are is a living miracle. What if you actually lived into the awareness that all of your choices were for your greatest and highest good? So I'm going to invite us into a forgiveness process. I'm going to invite us into a space, a place. So open your hearts right now, close your eyes, and I want you to just allow whatever is arising in your heart. What do you need to forgive? Where do you need to just let it go?
Tired of the guilt
Where are you tired of the guilt?
that brings me pain.
Where are you willing to unhook yourself?
Now is the time to let go of all my shame.
What if you could really let that
Past
go?
behind me, I see anew.
Listen to your heart.
I'm ready for my change. I'm ready for my change. I forgive me. I forgive me. Everything that I've been holding on to, I let go. I surrender.
Surrender. I surrender.
I surrender. I'm ready for my change.
Just be open and ready.
I'm ready for my change.
Hand on your
I
heart.
forgive me.
I forgive me.
I forgive me.
I forgive me.
Everything that I've been holding on to, I let go.
Ooh, let it go.
I surrender.
I surrender.
I surrender.
I surrender.
I'm ready for my change. I'm ready for my change.
So we breathe into the space that we're creating, this space of potential, of possibility, grounded in forgiveness. So I'm going to say these words, and I'm going to invite you to know them with me, just from that open-hearted space. For all those I have harmed, please repeat them after me. For all those I have harmed, knowingly or unknowingly, knowingly or unknowingly, I am truly sorry. I am truly sorry. Forgive me and set me free. Forgive me and set me free. For all those who have harmed me, for all those who have harmed me, knowingly or unknowingly, knowingly or unknowingly, I forgive them and I set them free. Forgive them and I set them free. And for the harm I have done to myself, and for the harm I have done to myself, knowingly or unknowingly, knowingly or unknowingly, I am truly sorry. I am truly sorry. And I forgive myself, and I forgive myself, and I set myself free. Myself free. So let's rest in the silence, in the freedom that is the very truth of who we are. Continuing to stay in this field of releasing, of forgiving all that I have harmed, all who have harmed me, and all the ways that I have harmed myself. Just allowing the heart space to open and to soften, knowing that our miracle beingness, the wholeness that we are, is available, accessible right now. It is present. It is the very beating of your heart. It is the very breath that you are breathing. Allowing anything that is an obstacle to our true nature,
I forgive me.
it falls away.
I forgive.
I forgive me.
Everything that I've been holding on to, I let go. I surrender.
I surrender.
I surrender.
I surrender.
I'm ready for my change.
And we are ready for our change.
I'm ready for my change.
Sing along with Misa and Carl. I forgive me.
I forgive me.
I forgive me.
I forgive me.
I surrender.
I surrender.
I surrender.
I surrender.
I forgive.
I forgive me.
I forgive me.
I forgive me.
I'm ready for my change.
Oh, yes.
I'm ready for my change.
And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Miracle being, here we are.